This video is inspired by a recent discovery call I had this week. Potential client booked a call. We hopped on and they had a question. They had been running ads for only 2 weeks and they had just had a meeting, and everyone went around and searched for their own ads on their computer and cell phone. And they were really frustrated because they couldn't find their own ads. So they feel like they're spending money, but who's actually seeing it? Google's charging them for clicks, but where are they coming from? They can't discover their own ads. And I said, this is a really common problem. A lot of new people to advertise on Google Ads want to see their ads out in the native, and they can never do it. I have some long-standing clients that like to see their own ads and ask me all the time about not finding their own ads. And I ensure them, one, they don't want to see their own ads, which I'll explain in a minute. But two, it helps to understand just why your ads might not show up for you as the actual advertiser. So I'm going to share my screen here in just a second, but from a high level, I just want to explain this process that Google uses. They're taking your budget, the geography, and the keywords you've selected, and they're going back in the search history and saying, on average, these keywords are used about X amount of times, and in this area, Y amount of times, and this advertiser has this budget, Z, okay? We need to show their ad throughout the day once every 37 impressions, once every 45 search queries. Okay. So those three things combined, your total number of keywords, the geography you're advertising in, and your daily budget, and they're applying historical information saying, I need to show this person's ad throughout the day once every to earn that daily budget, to spend that money. That's really nice. They're basically saying, hey, instead of you exhausting your budget from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then not showing up the rest of the day, we're putting you in a rotation to make sure you show up frequently throughout the day. You want that, okay? You want to show up throughout the day. You want to make sure that you're visible every hour, regardless of what your budget is. So that's from a very high level. Understand this rotation, that you're not going to show up for every impression. Now, you're also not going to show up for every impression because there's other advertisers, right? And Google wants to spread the love. So understand that you're not the only one bidding on these keywords in this geography. There are other people doing the same thing, and you are again in a rotation. So you will always see some other advertisers as well. And then lastly, Google knows your search history. Using cookies, they're well aware of what you do online, as we all know, whether we think it's creepy or not or invasive, they know what we're doing unless we've got really robust privacy settings. Google's using that. They're saying, listen, Justin has been to this website every day for almost a year, and he's never filled out the form and he's never submitted anything. He's never picked up the phone and called the number in the header. He's never converted. I'm going to purposely show him ads for another advertiser and hope he converts there. Because if he liked what was on this website, he would have converted. He never did it, right? I'm talking about my own website, me visiting my own website. I don't see my own ads. Google knows I'm there all the time. They know my IP address, they know my history, they know my time on that website through Google Analytics, and they're saying Justin is very unlikely to convert on this website. He's on it all the time. He already knows about it, right? So I'm going to show him ads to other marketing agencies. So that's happening with you as well as an advertiser. Google wants to show you other advertisers. They want to show you alternatives to what you already are aware about, which is your own website. Okay. I'm going to share my screen now because I want to help you visualize this, and I want you to understand the controls you have available to you if you're interested in looking at these and maybe changing how frequently you show up. So when you log into your Google Ads dashboard, I'm on campaigns, and then we're going to go to the insights and reports tab. We're going to go two down to auction insights, my favorite report. I tell you, I have discovery calls every week. I always ask people, it's one of the first things I ask, have you looked at your auction insight report? 9 out of 10 times they say, what is that? It's one of the most important charts, not related to actual conversions, but maybe loosely converted. So auction insight report, the first metric on this table is impression share. It's the most important thing on this table. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about this for just a minute. You can see that I'm you on the top. I have 35.83 search impression share. That's really good. 25-35 in a competitive market is generally going to be a large piece of the pie. And you can see the competitors here and their search impression share. I'm well above the other competitors running ads. So I'm very happy with this. I can make budget decisions on this. If I'm low on the list, maybe I need to spend more. So we can control our search impression share, or how frequently we show up, by reducing the number of keywords we bid on, by reducing the geography we spend money in, or by decreasing or increasing the ad spend. Now, obviously, the easiest, the one Google wants you to do, is just to increase your budget. You spend more, you show up more frequently, right? If that's not available to you, understand that the geography and number of keywords can also affect your search impression share. So I'm showing up about 36% of the time. Now, on the flip side, I'm not showing up almost 70% of the time, right? Which is okay, but understand that that's part of that rotation again. I'm not going to show up for every single available impression. Neither are you. Look at your auction insight report to get a better idea of how frequently your avatar or your ideal clients are finding your ad. Now, there's some other great metrics here. You can kind of take a look at that, the overlap rate as it compared to your competitors. There's also top of page, absolute top of page rate. Top of page rate means you're in that very top block of advertisers. Google usually reserves that for up to four. These days, you're lucky if there's two or three. Absolute top of page rate, that means you're very number one. I don't care so much about that. I let my ad copy do the talking as long as I'm in that top block. I think I'll get some good traffic, and I am about 76, 77% of the time. All right, real quick before I let you go, I'm going to click campaigns here, and we're going to go to the campaign settings and talk about bid strategy because this also influences how frequently you show up and to whom you show up. Now, I said at the top of the video that you don't want to see your own ads. You really don't, because for every ad that you see in the native, you take away from a potential customer seeing. Okay, you're in this rotation. You don't want to earn an ad impression. You want your ideal customer to earn that ad impression. We're going to scroll down here and click on bidding. Lots of bid strategies. My favorite is maximize conversions. You always want to make sure you've got conversions set up in your account before using this. Mine are form fills and phone calls. That's what's most important to me for all of my search campaigns. I want to maximize that. So using cookies. Google obviously is tracking people and their behavior and their search history, and they know what people are spending their time online with. So if somebody is likely to convert because they've got a long history of making search queries based on, in this case, Google Ads, they've read some stories online, they've read some blogs, maybe they've digested some YouTube content on Google Ads. Google goes, oh, and now they're searching for an agency. They're likely to convert, right? So maximize conversions are people who Google think are likely to convert based on their behavior. So what's the alternative to some of these things? Well, the opposite of maximize conversion, not the opposite, kind of the flip on maximizing conversions would just be traffic, right? That's clicks. So this is maximizing clicks. We're just trying to get as much traffic to the website as we can, whether it's their first search query or their 100th. If they're high funnel, low funnel, we just want traffic. That's not a bad option, by the way. I know that conversions is the best, but some advertisers really do just need traffic to their website, and this is a great way to do that. Conversion value is great for e-commerce. You can use it for other industries. I almost use it predominantly just for e-commerce, where I'm trying to maximize my return on ad spend. And then lastly, the reason I brought you here was showing you that you can actually bid on impression share. So I showed you that chart under the auction insight, right? That table with search impression share. And you can actually say, I want to show up 75% of the time. And Google will do its best to make sure that you earn that impression share. So we're not really trying to get traffic or conversions. We're just trying to show up frequently. So you can control that. I use that not often, first of all, but if I do, it's usually for a branded campaign. I'm bidding on the business's name. I'm using exact max searches, and I'm just trying to get that person in that top spot frequently so that they can earn that ad impression as often as someone searches for the name. Guys, I hope this helps. Don't get frustrated not seeing your own ads. It's not a bad thing. Again, for every time you see an ad out in the native, a potential customer does not. But hopefully now at least you understand a little bit more about that rotation, where it comes from, and then ways that you can influence it in the future. Questions, comments down below. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much and have a great day.